Tonight, first of all, I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me. Again, Joe with Fox 31 and Channel 2. Tonight's rules are simple. This is not a debate. We are not going to be exchanging battles between candidates. It's merely an opportunity for you to learn about the people that you will be voting on in this upcoming election, which, as you know, is extremely important. The candidates will have 7 minutes to talk. And at 30 seconds, what are you going to do? She's going to flash something. Let's be careful here. Okay? And when time is up, she's going to stand up. So that way I don't have to be rude and say time has expired. The goal, keep this moving and move it quickly. And that's what we'll start right now. Our Colorado capital and Representative Kit Roupe. She was a Republican member of the Colorado House representing District 17. Welcome. And we do ask the candidates to stick to the question at hand and get a good answer with that question. You're going to talk about a serious issue, and this is suicide prevention. And the Healthy Colorado Initiative, it provides resources to address what we all know is a big problem in our state, and that is the high rate of suicide, particularly among our veterans. In the context of the Healthy Colorado Initiative, A, do you support that initiative? And B, where would you direct those resources to go to prevent suicides?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. And thank you all for taking some time on an evening that's not too bad in Colorado. And I'm Kit Roupe, as announced. House District 17 is the southeast side of Colorado Springs. And I have many veterans who are from Fort Carson, Peterson, and the complexes down there. And many of them live in my district because it's lower income. They may be wounded soldiers, or they may be geographically single families. And we have many elderly veterans that are also living in these homes because it's a way that they live within their means. And I have a great deal of respect for them. I myself am a Vietnam era veteran. My brother served, I served, my son has served, my daughter has served, my father and my grandfather served. So it's a family tradition that service to our country is paramount and serving our communities is paramount. As far as what we were talking about for the question, I think it is a very serious thing. One of the things I'd like to make everyone aware of is we're having our 2nd annual Veterans Legislative Summit. And this is one of the topics that we will be talking about. We've picked the 3rd of October, thanks to Lean and helping me out with selecting a date. And one of the first topics that we're talking about is homelessness and mental health issues. And although I am not a mental health specialist by any stretch of the imagination, I work very closely with those that are. And so we have some of the folks that have come out and talked to us about some of the mental health issues. Suicide matters. One of my fellow legislators ran a bill last year that was for PTSD dogs, for our veterans who were suffering, that needed the companionship of those animals. And we passed that bill pretty universally. And that was one that at our first Veterans Legislative Summit, we did some stakeholder discussion. How do we fund this? And that sort of thing. I would hope that in the 2nd Legislative Summit that we would do pretty much the same thing. Is figure out what is the process, what is the best priority. Initially, my reaction is we would not only have maybe a village, a veterans village where we can bring our folks together, give them the care that they need without the outside distractions so that we can help them focus and help them discern what is okay and what's not okay in a very safe environment. And once they feel a little bit more comfortable, we help them work their way back into the more difficult settings where they may be challenged, where they may feel the depression come on to them, and they need to be able to reach back. So we gently let them back out into that environment. And then I would say that as they continue forward, we never let them go. We should always be there as their resource in order to support them. And the reason I say that is, much as what has been said before, we volunteered for this. There was no fiscal note that went along with saying there's a fiscal note because I'm a veteran. Our veterans gave everything, and I think we should be there to support them in that respect. As for services, I think that that's where the challenge comes, is who's providing the service. We have Aspen Point and several other different organizations, and I know that there are many veterans. Actually, one of the folks that are going to be the panelists at our summit is a combat veteran who is a psychiatrist and who has shared this information with us. So he is intimately familiar with some of the challenges some of our veterans think that working with him, we might want to have other veterans maybe form some organizations that they can come out and help their veterans in a constructive way. It's their way maybe of coming back around and embracing their fellow veterans and supporting them in their own fashion. We're a family, and I think that has a great deal to do with it. So as a legislator, those are some of the things that I would do. As far as legislation in specific, am I supposed to answer that too? As far as legislation in specific, I think that right now with the initiative money, I would look at how we would put the money into those resources that are available for veterans and expanding the services to the types of services that I was talking about. And to go any more particular, I feel a little nervous doing that because I like to hear from veterans themselves and the organizations that serve them. They know very intimately how best to spend the money and how it's been spent. So instead of trying to recreate the wheel, I'd rather find solutions to barriers and issues within the wheel itself. So do I have time to answer any other questions? Thank you. I am going to support Initiative 143. I think one of the best ways we can do that is as we walk and talk to individuals at the door, we have the opportunity to also talk to them about some of the amendments on the ballot. And I would explain to them the value of Amendment 143 and encourage them to vote yes on that particular amendment. Employment training, I thought that was a striking question, frankly. I would really like to see at the state level, before maybe we work with the Department of Veterans Affairs, I would really like to see that a school, in order to accept VA credits, actually have to be registered with the state and prove itself. You just can't be a private industry just coming in and starting to scalp, if you will, because it strikes me almost as scalping. So somehow we have to close that up. That's just a suggestion of something we might want to do. Supporting housing and services for the chronically homeless. I mentioned the Veterans Village. There's one that's being considered, and we would talk about it at our deal. But the whole idea is that we would have a set-aside area for our veterans so that they can kind of get themselves rooted again. And then they would actually learn different skills or see how their skills translate into that, in the private sector. And then again, not letting them out on their own to feel like they're abandoned, but together with others. And then Veterans Court. We actually have a Veterans Court that's well recognized in El Paso County. I've gone to some of the graduations, in fact, and some of these guys have really had to struggle, and the mentorship that happens in these courts is outstanding. Looking at how it's funded right now, usually the judicial district and the courts have to come out of their budget, and they've managed to do that. Maybe we could talk with the judicial branch about how we might actually fund them on the side out of the state budget. So we would maybe look at a funding stream rather than having them try to figure out how to cobble it out. I think that in itself will give us some stability. So again, I'm State Representative Kit Roupe. I'm a veteran. I serve you, our community. I ask for your support in speaking to friends of mine in House District 17, and I thank you for this opportunity this evening to speak to you. And I'm glad you're all still awake.
Thank you so much. Thank you for those